What is up, everybody? Flex here, bringing you guys another replay cast here in the T-30 as we roll around on highway with pretty damn good matchmaking. There's only 4 tier 9s, the rest is mostly tier 8 and a couple of tier 7s. Very typical tier 9 matchmaking, of course. I always feel like tier 9s usually get the better matchmaking. Much better than tier 10s, for example. I feel like tier 9s, as many of you will know, is kind of the best matchmaking you can get. Yeah, we're playing the T-30, which is something I don't think I've ever featured on my channel before, and it's also a tank destroyer, which I don't usually play too much. So a whole lot of new stuff here, and yeah, it's also on highway, which is a map I don't really like too much, and we're gonna take some pot shots at scouts here. Now the T-30, obviously tank destroyer, but it's more of a heavy sort of tank. Really, with a really nice 750 alpha gun, 276 pen, and 320 pen on the APCR, and then the HE90 and a 950, which is also really nice to deal with waffles and stuff like that. However, the gun has some mood swings, let's say, and if you're not fully aimed, especially, and even when you're fully aimed, you'll miss a lot of shots here. And the shots I just took were all pretty bad, because instead of this scout, I could have shot this scout, and instead of taking the other pot shot, I could have already shot this Type 64 when he was still spotted. So the beginning is kind of rough, but the tank is sort of slow. As you can see, we're doing like 25 to 30 kilometers an hour. It does have a fully traversable turret. The whole armor is really trash. It's even worse than the T-34 at the moment. At least I think so. And the turret is obviously pretty good, although there's some things that can pen your roof and your cupola as well. But yeah, that's pretty much a short review of the T-30. Nice meaty gun, hold down, really good, and a nice alpha for tier 9. Overall, packs a really nice punch, and it's probably, you know, one of the more solid tier 9 tank destroyers out there. And like I said, it's more a sort of a heavy tank. And as we can see in the minimap right now, the team is really not doing much of anything. We got 2 scouts here. We don't really need 2 scouts. We got a Chibi and a Leo going up against tier 9s and 8s and a couple of tier 7s. There's RT here. ST1 is sniping. Waffle is sniping. Prototype is sniping. This RT is actually in a good spot. The GW isn't at all. There's a scout behind me, but he's going back, so I don't know what he's doing. And that leaves me, a T10, and a VKB to leave, you know, for us to handle the entire city, where there's now 2 Yak Tigers, a Lova, a T10, and maybe some other shit as well. And we're basically going to show you how this T-30 kind of works out. Like, you peek out, you look at a Yak Tiger, you're like, hey, kablam, see you later, 700 damage, and then you, if you angle correctly, you still kind of bounce to tier 8s. Tier 9s will pretty much always spend you, you can still side scrape in it, because of the track placement, basically. Like the tracks cover the entire site, so it's not too bad at side, you know, side scraping here. There's the Yak-Tiger again, 2-shot it. I'll see you in the next life. As we try and help the T10 as much as possible, and now the VKB is on his own with a Yak 88 and a Lova. Now VKBs are really terrifying. They're really good tanks. They're slow, but once you're in a good position, the VKB is excellent. It only has a frontal weak spot of the cupola, pretty much nothing else. As we creep upon the Yak Tiger, he already knows my plan though. And obviously, when you're poorly angled as I was, you're gonna get hit here 24/7. Like, I didn't really expect the Yak 88 to pay that much attention. The VKB is not being like flanked by the T10. I'm just gonna try and assist the VKB as much as I can, right? The Lova has a good gun, but the T10 is definitely, you know, a little bit better here. So I'm gonna focus on the T10, take out the highest tier threat first as I stumble for words here. And he just shot the VKB. I know this, so I have time for the reloads. Unfortunately, the VKB makes the decision here to go for the T10, which in his mind actually makes sense, because he wants to escape from the Lova being shot in the back, and he's gonna try and go full front on the T10, making the T10 like pretty much impossible for the T10 to shoot back at the VKB, right? Because the T10 is very low. So for him, it actually makes a lot of sense. However, it does fuck me over a little bit. But I do manage to snapshot a shot into there for 869 there. A really nice roll for 750 alpha. So RT tries to hit me here whilst I've been like pretty much surrounded by buildings here, which is really odd. And this is something that, like, this is pretty much the worst. Well, worst case scenario, probably not the worst, but this is like pretty blatant like XCM sniping kind of thing, because it was such a fairly impossible shot. And yeah, T-30 is a pretty juicy target for artillery, right? We have a huge hull and stuff, but you'll see the RT take super unnecessary shots throughout this game that might end up costing them as well. So the VKB obviously is going to side scrape now against the Lova is really good. The T-30 is not super agile, but agile enough in these short distances. And with a shot of the VKB and a shot of mine, we should be able to take out the Lova no problemo. 730, we have 750 average damage. But of course, we roll way less than he's on 62 health. And now it's just kind of awkward, because now the VKB, the Liv I think just fired, or that was the VKB. So the VKB also bounced, I'm just like, well, this is fucking awkward. And then the Liv has a shot on me here. And that was really dumb of me, right? I should not have peeked there. He could have, he could have tracked me, he could have arrow wrecked me with the same shot. Luckily, I'm fairly RT safe with this house here. And then I fuck up that shot as well. And then, the same RT kills his own Lova trying to get to the VKB. Like, talk about unnecessary shots. That's 2 unnecessary shots in a row that also cost the Lova's health, who could have maybe, fired another shot off at one of the tier 9s, or me. Which is fairly crucial when there's so little tier 9s, right? What also is weird is that he's platooned up with a Yak Tiger and a Skoda. So you would think he would help out his teammates a bit more, or his platoon mates a bit more, and coordinate with them, but that RT is really fucking up right now. And, that might end up costing them dearly, because the game is actually fairly close. It's 7-7 now. They still have 3 tier 9s, we got 2. So obviously we're going to go back. There's absolutely no freaking use. And that's something I don't like about Highway, is that once you win the city, it's still a struggle to get to their base. Because you have to cross the open field into TDs, most likely. The Yak Tiger was last spotted there. Knowing Yak Tigers, they don't tend to move so much, so he's probably somewhere around here. There's an SU-122-44, which is not much of a threat. But for T-30, it actually is, because he can chew through the hull, and with the DPM it gets, it's quite insane. So we're just going to go back. Another reason why is that we're really good hull down, and there's some really nice hull down positions here we can take whilst defending the cap, right? And if need be, we can actually stand under the bridge in our reloads and try and not get RT'd as well. And if he can be, luckily, is smart enough to see this as well, and he's going to go back with me as well. So this is where we just take our stand here. Now you might ask, like, why are you going here? You might get spotted, right? Usually there's people under the bridge, or there will be people under the bridge, and they take like cheeky scouting runs here. But we're just gonna look at the base right now. The GW Panther should have moved already, which is, obvious to everyone that uses a keyboard, but this guy clearly hasn't yet. And the 3090 is backing off, and so is the STA-1. Both of which could have moved back a lot faster. I think the GW should have moved where this RT is, like, a long time ago. This RT actually is positioned well for once. So the Love is obviously a one-shot, and hopefully more of them are, because otherwise this is going to be one awkward game. SU shows up with the gun depression I have, and the tier 7 has absolutely no free range. I can sort of safely peek and get a nice shot off there. That shot, is kind of 50-50 with a gun like this. If it hits, not if it pens, because if it pens he will die, let's be real here. So the moods get spotted. I'm just looking for like some silhouettes, maybe like the top of a turret or something like that. Because with this alpha and this caliber of gun, you can overmatch a lot here. So the Yak Tiger gets spotted by our scout, which actually took up a fairly nice position for late game, right? He can spot the open field here, he can spot the middle underneath the bridge as well for us. So I take the pot shot there, and then he gets spotted right after that as well. So kind of wasted that shot, and I figure it would actually hit, but it did not connect at all. So even whilst we're like, have a lot of freedom here for sniping at a Yak Tiger, a lot of people make the mistake of like, overcommitting with their tank. Just keep using your gun depression, right? Don't show too much. You never know what the fuck is in front of you. The RU might have shots as well. And yeah, we are kind of on the hill still, but as you can see when I'm sniping, I'm still, using my gun depression to almost its full capacity here. As he put another shot into the Yak Tiger for 732. His platoon mate just showed up. The Skoda T-50 is still on full health. It's a really big threat for us, obviously. He can almost clip us. He has about, I think it was 960 damage in 3 shots. on average. VKB just got RT'd, which is the first, you know, decent shot by the artillery. And here we just blast the Skoda for almost 800. And the Skoda played really poorly here. Like, he could have done so much more damage being in full health. But obviously, you know, we got blasted by us. And I think the VKB got him as well. And now we kind of take cover from artillery underneath the bridge while still trying to stay, you know, relatively hold down for the Skoda if he manages to peek out. So here we have the VKB covering my back. So this is a little bit risky because the Skoda can still go for me, but if he does, the VKB will probably finish him off. So it's time for me to be hauled down again and defend the base against the RU and the T-34-100. Now this guy, here we see the T-30 gun. That was pretty much fully aimed, and it went right over his head. It would have been an easy one-shot, so you can see my camera shake here, just like, why the fuck did that not, you know, just fly through? Because in games like this where it's close to missing those shots, basically by pure RNG, is like extra painful. And I'm sure many of you have been in the same saddle there. Now the STA-1 dies, and the RU and T-34-100 and the Moots. Now I'm not sure what the RU health is, but I know this guy is a one-shot, and the Moots is a one-shot, so I'm feeling fairly confident here. And there's the RU of 300, also one-shot for me now, and he is like, yo, let me just aim at the T-30. And that was like, sort of half-aimed as well, but that's the shots you're gonna have to take at times, because you don't want to stick around too long with that artillery, who actually misses us now for the second time. Because it's kind of, being on a hill like this, if they're aiming at you, there's a lot of these shots will go over instead of against you, if they, especially if like aim poorly. Another reason why staying around this area is a good versus artillery, basically. Now, knowing that he fired and he has like a 30+ second cooldown on the shots, I can look around for the boost in the T-44-100. The VKB takes him out. Rather nice shot there. Me and the VKB basically working really well together is something you don't see too often in the random games here. And I'm just like, this T-44-100, he's not gonna get lucky again, is he? And of course. Now, in hindsight, that was kind of poorly aimed, because I aimed for the middle of the tank while he was still moving. I should have shot a little bit more in front of him, but with the velocity of the shell and everything, that might as well have been a kill there. And now we're just like, you gotta die, son. So we aim and blast him there. Obviously taking the kill there. 5 kills for us. VKB on 4, and artillery, who actually positioned themselves smart, has 1 kill as well. GW got a kill, but he could have done so much more if he was, you know, able to use his keyboard. So the enemy RT still on -1, did not pick up any kills yet. Now, where does RT go, right? It's a fairly mobile artillery, so the first thing I'm thinking, you're gonna go A1. Every fucking artillery in the endgame of Highway always goes A-line, right? A1, or they stop at D1 or A1. So I see the VKB going directly for the base, which is absolutely fine. I'm just like, we're gonna catch this artillery if it's the last thing I do, because like he's been aiming at me almost all of his shots. I think he fired twice at the VKB. And he obviously missed a lot, killed a teammate, shot some houses. And this is where I just make my stand. We'll just speed it up a little bit, so you don't have to wait too long here. So we spot the artillery as he caresses the hill there at D1. I'm just like, you're not getting away, sonny boy Jim Bob the Third. I actually also created the platoon with the VKB because I feel like we really worked well together. Might as well give the guy Brothers in Arms. That's something actually, it's the second time I've done this week, making a platoon with randomers. Just to, you know, give them Brothers in Arms or something like that. And I feel like that's kind of nice. I might actually do that some more. So artillery shows up. And this is where I do fuck up the replay entirely. So, create the platoon here. And we take a shot at artillery. Critical hit does nothing. We don't even track him. Like, keep in mind, we're firing 155 mil shells at a, you know, wet paper towel of a target. And it crits him, and it does absolutely no damage. So again, here I'm just reloading. Artillery is there. He's like, oh, I gotta aim a little bit. And we finish him off, getting that 6th kill. And having 10 together with the VKB, obviously very nice here. Doing over 6,000 damage. Blocking a little bit of damage and a little bit of spotting. Only losing our radio guy. only having to use a repair kit as well, which is rather nice. But let's take a look at the post-game stats just to be, you know, just to finish off the replay here. Obviously nice. We got Bros and Arms because of the cheeky platooning in the end, but truly, like, the VKB played well, and we played well together. It was just a really good job. But if you take a look at the team score here, you can see pretty much me and the VKB carried like no tomorrow here, and the artillery did 1700 as well. The other artillery did 850, and the rest did pretty much nothing. Keep in mind, there's more tier 9s here. There's the Waffle, there's the T10. No, there's things like the UDES, which can be pretty good on that map, I think. So yeah, me and the VKB, a randomer, just absolutely destroying the enemy team with some nice team play. If we take a look at the detailed report here, the shells are really expensive. I don't think I fired a single APCR, but correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. But we missed a lot of shells, right? We missed 6 shells, and we only penned 12 as well. We still did a heck load of damage, but we only made 40k. I say only because with a lot of tier 9s, if you make some this much damage, you'll make a bit more money, I think. Still not too bad, 40k there. Obviously nice teamwork with the VKB. I hope you guys enjoyed this little replay of the T-30. It's one of the older tanks for sure in the game, so and it's also a tank destroyer, so I thought it's pretty rare for me to put up games like this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to maybe subscribe, check out more videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next time. Thanks for watching. Peace out.